Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to go through my thoughts on niching down. So, as you may or may not know, I am moving into selling books, as you can probably tell by the massive books that are behind me. So, I kind of wanted to go through some benefits of niching down into a certain type of thing, one thing to sell, and how it sort of made me think about how to grow the business. And that was, as I've mentioned in a previous video, that is how I want to sort of grow the business, but I suppose I didn't go into too much detail on my thought process on that. So I thought I'd go a bit more into that. Also, at the end of the video, I'm going to put in a video of some of my recent sales. I thought I'd try and throw that in at the end, just so you can see some of the things that I have sold recently. Also, I'm going to do a competition, which is the first time I've done this, so this is exciting. So I've got a bundle of books which I put together. Again, I'll show this at the end, I think. So if you wait to the end, you'll see what you can get and how to enter. Right, so niching down. So if you don't know what niching is, some people say niching. I think that's more of an American thing. I think niching is the right word. But yeah, so niching down is so you sort of focus in on one type of thing to sell. I suppose niching really is kind of really sort of drilling down and finding, so instead of just selling books, it would be selling a specific type of book. So selling Stephen King books, for instance, I suppose that would be niching down, or just selling horror books type of thing. But for all intents and purposes, niching into selling books is kind of what people say. So whether it's books, whether it's clothing, it could be men's clothing, women's clothing. You could be a toy seller, you could be a video game seller. A lot of people, it's a real sort of wide variety, I suppose, of people. Some people like to just have the one thing they sell. Some people like to sell a bit of everything. There's no real right or wrong, I suppose. It's just however works best for you. Some people, I think for part-timers, it's easier just to sell a bit of everything. I know that personally as a part-timer, it's you don't always get tons of time. You just go out, you see something, you pick it up and you sell it, rather than I suppose trying to train your brain to just look at one thing and learn one thing. It is quite difficult. So we'll go through some of the benefits of niching down. First off, it is generally easier to source. I've been doing that myself, just focusing on books. I go through charity shops. I know now just literally to go to the book section. If all the books are quite expensive, I can just sort of think, actually, I don't really want to look here anymore. I can just go to the next one, find a cheaper one. Obviously, sometimes you have to pay up for certain books anyway, but it's a lot simpler rather than sort of wandering around trying to find needles in the haystacks almost. Sometimes you can just sort of go to a section and go, okay, I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for books. I know what kind of, that you might see a book that you sold and it might be a lot more expensive than you think it should be. You want to pay for it basically. So there is that. It's also easier to source because if you're looking on Facebook Marketplace, for instance, to look in just one genre rather than looking at everything on there, because Facebook Marketplace can be a bit of a nightmare, I suppose, is a polite way of saying it. There is loads of things on there and it's quite difficult to find everything and look for everything. I think if the more you look for certain things, the more things come up as recommendations for you as well, so that is another good thing. Also, the fact that people get to know that you're in a certain genre, so books for instance, I've had people reach out to me and say, you sell books, would you like these? So I don't really have to do anything. Effectively the stock is coming to me without me having to go out, which is another really great benefit, and I think that's just something that will grow and get better. It's not something I've sort of been asking for or anything. It's just people have gone to me and sort of, would you like this, and sort of going from there. It's something I want to try and build up with charity shops as well in the future, is to, so if they've got an overflow of books, for instance, they might come to me and say, would you like these books, or would you like to have a look through these books, and maybe take some. But it's something that you can definitely build, and you can build relationships rather than. I always find it difficult if people say, what do you sell, and you say everything, they go, oh, okay, and they almost kind of dismiss you. But I suppose if it's books, you can say, I sell books, and they go, oh, okay, so then they'll have it in their head, books. Or if it's clothing, whatever it is, that they'll have it in their head that, if we've got a big load of these, we can go to Steve and get rid of these. So yeah, that's some of the benefits of sourcing. Just finds it a lot easier. I'm quite looking forward to getting out to car boot as well for that same reason, because I think sourcing at car boots will be easier, just looking for books. So you can just go to a stall, ask how much the books are, they say 50p, I can have a look through and go, I don't think they're worth that, I can move on. I can get around the whole car boot a lot quicker, potentially pick up a load more books, which would be heavier, but I think it's just a bit more efficient. So once you've got all your stock, then we get on to listing it, and listing is so much easier as well, because I personally, so I know if, for instance, I pick up a bundle of books which I've sold before, I know I've sold it hopefully within the last 3 months, and I can just do a sell similar, update the pictures, maybe update the condition if the condition is different, and it's listed, and I can get it live a lot quicker rather than having to create a whole new listing. It doesn't take that much longer, but it is so much quicker knowing it's there, and it makes me list it quicker as well, because I know I've got a listing ready to go. I don't really need to I just need to tweak it, get some pictures done, and I know how the pictures should be taken as well, because they're all the same as the last pictures I took, and get it up and get it sold, and then keep doing it again. That is the goal, really. Also, as I've mentioned previously, I've got a listing set up for a bundle of random books, basically. So I've been doing kids books, but I've also got set up a couple of other ones, so that I can just throw all the books together in a box, have them there ready to go, so when they sell, I can just literally pick out however many is sold, get them posted off, and that means I can just keep the listing going. All I need to do is make sure I've got enough stock to cover what is there. So I've got a listing for 10 kids books, and I just keep updating it. If it goes down to I've only got 2 available, then I make sure I got enough books to cover it, and then update it to 5 available, and just keep going like that. And another very good thing is it just seems to grow your knowledge quicker, so you know what to look for. So certain books don't sell, certain genres don't sell, certain covers, for instance, don't sell. It's just when you're just working with them constantly, you know what to look for, and you just get a much better knowledge a lot quicker, rather than trying to learn everything. You're probably more likely to make mistakes. Probably not expensive mistakes, but it's more likely, I suppose, that you might pick up if say you're buying clothing, for instance, if you're niching down in clothing, you should be able to spot a fake. I've been caught out a couple of times myself. I've just sort of bought something and gone, oh, that looks nice, look it up quickly, yep, that sells for quite well, buy it, and then you get it home and you think that doesn't look quite right, so you end up checking it out, and then you realise it's a fake, and that not having that knowledge, I think, is just it's just not good for the business. With books, you can't really fake books, but it's So that's probably not a good example, but you sort of know what I mean. It just all helps your knowledge, helps grow the business. And then so to move on to actually growing the business, there's really three key things. I'm going to try and put some words up somewhere to list what I'm trying to say. But three main factors that can help grow your business. Right, so number one would be to get more customers. That is one way to grow your business. Number two is to increase your average sale price. So if you sell one book to one person for £10, obviously if you then sell one book to one person for £12, that's a way of increasing the business and increasing the profit. Three is to get multiple sales. So one person buying, instead of one customer buying one book from you once, they might buy two books from you once. That's not right. They might buy one book from you twice. So that is another way to build the business. Obviously, it's a lot harder with a few of these things to do it in the confines of eBay. So building your customer base is a bit more difficult because you are on the eBay platform and there is hundreds of thousands of people selling similar things to yourself, but you can still build that customer relationship. So if you're just selling books, there might be people that are always on the lookout for certain books. They might start following you, and then they might see what you're selling, then you'll get a repeat customer. So I think if you can get repeat customers in your niche, it's a lot more likely you're going to get a repeat customer, I think. I've been seeing it a lot more selling books. I've had people, obviously it comes up on eBay now to say the repeat customer, and I've noticed it before when I was selling a lot more vinyl. It would come up because certain people would always look for vinyl, so you get repeat customers. I think that having a certain niche that you sell definitely helps with that. If you were selling lots of things, it's highly unlikely that someone is going to buy a pair of shoes and a CD from you at the same time, or come back and think, oh, that person was good, I'll buy something else from them, unless you built up some kind of online presence that might be likely. But yeah, otherwise niching down is probably the best way to do that. Obviously increasing prices is an easy one, and it's probably not quite as simple with eBay because it is you can only sell it for the price that people are willing to pay. However, as your customer base grows, then you might be able to put prices up slightly because they know what they're getting from you. That if they know they're going to get a good service and a personal service, and they can come to you and ask you certain things, they might be willing to pay a little bit extra than they would have been previously. Now they know you, it's easier to put the prices up, and obviously then that helps build the business because you got more money coming in to buy more stock and to do other things, whatever you want to do with the business. And the third one of multiple sales again comes back to the more people you have looking at your business that want a certain niche, they're more likely to buy multiple things from you at multiple times. So as I say, if you might have one customer that comes to you to buy a book and they pay £10, but then one customer might be very happy with that one book they bought for £10, so they might come back to you, buy another book for £10. Obviously that is the same customer. You haven't got to build your customer base, you haven't really got to do much with it, that they have just come to you to buy another one of your products. So there's sort of that's the three main areas to help grow your business, and if you can get all of them going together, then the business can potentially go very big. Not very technical, but that's for instance, if you was to build your customer base by 20%, so say you had 100 customers, and then next year you got 120 customers, growing your business by 20% is great. That's 120 customers. Then the following year, grow it by another 20%. Following year, another 20%. That's just one area. If then you was going to go, if you're going to grow the business in the other area, say prices, so you've got those 100 customers that are buying at £10. If you then get 120 customers, if they're paying £12, for instance, then that is another way that the business is growing. So you've got all those extra customers that are paying all that extra price, plus the original customers that are paying the extra price as well. And then if you were to have multiple purchases, so 100 customers, this is getting confusing in my head, 100 customers, was 120 customers that, so say they were 100 customers buy one product at £10, if you got 120 customers that are buying product at £12, and then they buy two products, that's obviously doubling, two or three products. That is another way of increasing the overall spend of the business. I hope I'm explaining that well. I say I'll try and put some pictures up to sort of try and explain a little bit better, and hopefully that will help you think about how I'm sort of planning to build it. I don't know if this is all possible in the realms of eBay. It is all a bit more difficult to do that, but it's not impossible. But it goes back to the one day potentially having my own website, and then from there you can probably build more customer relations and things that way. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I leave that bit there, and then I will go over to me earlier today. I can't remember when it was. Later today? No, whenever it was. Here's some sales. Don't forget to come back, because there is a competition which I'm going to do, and hopefully you might win, and we shall see. So a few quick sales that I've got to get posted out and sent, so I'm doing this quick just to get it done and show you what's sold. It's quite a lot of books. No particular order. The Hunger Games, which is a very unusual cover. I almost didn't spot it in the shop. Paid £1 for the 3. They have sold for £12.99 plus postage. A mixed lot of books. So there's a couple like about Port Slade, which is where I live, well, sort of near where I live, and West Hove Golf book, and then one about Sussex pubs. So I've bundled them all together. They've sat around for a little while, but they're staying local, so that's good. So they've sold for £7.99 plus £7 I think plus postage, for that lot of 4 books. They cost me nothing, so good. Got a mixed bundle of cassette tapes. They've been listed for quite a while. I had them listed separately, and then I just wanted to get rid, so I listed them all together. They've sold for £8 plus postage, so not huge value, but good to get rid of them. Jesus Christ, Superstar. It's the only singing I'm going to get. This is sold for £7.99 plus postage. No, £7.99 free postage. Gets gone. Sold a bundle of Warhammer books. They have sold for, I think they went for £7 plus postage for those 3, so that's good. They were free. This is sold. Alfred's Basic Piano Library. So it's just in the back, but basically it's a book on piano. That's sold for £9.99 free postage. That cost me 50p from a shop. Sold a couple of Muppet Babies and a Muppets like easy readers. They will go as large letter. They've sold for £6.99 free post. They're listed for a day so I've probably undersold them, but they were free, so free money. A board game I sold. Again, this was free. I think my sister gave me this to get rid of. This sold for £9.99 plus postage. It's been sat around for a few months, so very good to get rid of that. I've sold 2 lots of books, so these are from the free book haul. They have not sold for much. I think I listed them for only £4.99 for 3. So £4.99. Someone sent me an offer of £3.30, I think it was, for each of them, plus postage. So I think they went for about £12 all in. But they're just over 2 kilograms, so it costs a bit extra. But there's an offer on at the minute, so I kind of thought I'd go for it and save a bit of money that way. I've sold another bundle of kids books. So 10 books for £13.99. I just keep picking them up whenever I see them, dirt cheap. Looking forward to car boots, so I can try and get as many as I can, because that listing is doing very well. And lastly, I sold this, which is like a blazer, suit jacket type thing. I've had this for almost a year, or maybe over a year, I'm not sure now. That has sold for £14 plus postage. I think I paid £7 for it, I think, like ages ago, but I really don't care now. It's profit and it's gone, so it's good. Okay, competition time. So I've put together a little bundle of books. They are nothing special. They are hopefully books that you might like. I tried to sort of work out what type of books people might like, and try to put a book bundle together based on that. So there's actually 3 Stephen King books. There's horror genre seems to be quite popular, so I thought I'll see. Is there 3 Stephen King? Oh, sorry, 2 Stephen King books. So I've got, confusing myself. I've got hardback book of Misery, which you may have seen I picked up in a previous video. It's got a few marks in it. That's the thing. A lot of these, they are resellable. So if you did want to resell them, then by all means go for it. But yeah, I just thought I'd put a random bundle together which may or may not interest you. So I'll just let you have a look what it is. So there's a couple of Stephen Kings. There is a Jurassic Park, which I read many years ago, Dean Koontz book, and this book, which is The Hour of the Wolf, which is like a vintage horror type book, I think. No, it's about terrorism, but apparently, but it's like a suspense thriller type novel. Thought it might go in there with it all. So anyway, that book bundle. To be in with a chance of winning it, please comment down below. Tell me what you think of niching down. Let me know your thoughts on it. Just by commenting. If you haven't got a comment, anything like that, you can comment whatever you like. Just put an emoji or whatever. And then make sure you subscribe to the channel. Obviously, gives it a thumbs up. Much be benefited. God, I can't talk today. It'd be very much appreciated. And yeah, and then in the next video potentially, maybe I'll give it a week or 2. Yeah, I'll probably give it a couple of weeks. So get those. Make sure you get those comments in, and then I'll pick a winner. So it is only going to be open to UK entrants. So apologies about that. It's just the postage costs are probably a bit too crazy. At some point in the future, I will, I'm sure, open it up to world, but that might be a little way off yet. But yes, so please comment, please like, please subscribe, and thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you, bye bye.